Hello, my name is Dr. Anjola Robin and welcome to the Public Speaking Masterclass. As we are well aware, this series of training is segmented into three. The first one talks about demystifying public speaking, and the second, which I'll be taking to today, is preparing for public speaking. Let me start by telling you this. It cannot be a better time to school yourself on what it entails to be able to public speak. Because all of a sudden, right before our eyes, in the last 2 months, the world has changed. Now, whether you like it or not, wherever you tuck yourself, you have to get to talk to people. Now, the caveat is this: whatever you say can be transmitted to anybody in the whole world because it's going to be recorded. So it's actually important for you to be able to equip yourself in this skill so that you can better represent yourself and your thoughts. And so I think this is very timely, and I want to thank you so much for being part of this training. For those that have had cause to meet from time to time, I say you're welcome. And for those that will be meeting me for the first time, I say I am totally thrilled to be teaching you during this course of training. Now, how can we ever look at public speaking without first of all even reminding ourselves what public speaking is in the first place? So what we're going to do is I'm going to be looking at preparing for public speaking in three aspects. The first one, we're going to look at the definition of public speaking, and then we're going to look at the mental preparation for public speaking. Then we're going to move on to look at the psychological preparation for public speaking, and then finally we'll look at the physical preparation for public speaking, and then of course there will be tidbits here and there that we're going to add to it as we go on. So I'm sure we're going to be learning a lot, and I'll be thrilled to learn from you as well. So what is public speaking? There are several definitions of public speaking, but I'm going to be sharing with us a definition today that I will will hit the nail right on the head on the aspects that I would want you to concentrate on when it comes to the whole idea of public speaking. I'm going to read that definition to you. It says public speaking is an act of transmitting information through the medium of spoken word. If you're taking down this definition, I need you to underline spoken word. The medium here is through spoken word, and its corresponding actions, spoken words, and the corresponding actions that go with spoken word. I'm talking to you right now, and you can tell that as I speak, there are actions that go alongside with my speech. And then it says, what are you trying to communicate? You're trying to communicate your thoughts. You're trying to communicate your feelings, and you're doing so to a speaker, and you're doing so to an assembled speaker or an assembled audience, forgive me. Audience assembled in a place to listen to you, to express your thoughts, your feelings to them through spoken words. And whatever you're expressing has to communicate to their hearts and to their minds. So that means you're doing so many things at the same time. You're addressing an audience. You're expressing the thought or a feeling. You're doing so through spoken words, and your target is that whatever it is you are saying has to get across to not just their minds but also their hearts. That means they must, as a matter of importance, take away whatever you have said in their hearts. I'm sure it's so sometimes it's it takes some skill to be able to get across to people's mind when you talk to them, and so when they walk away they just don't forget everything. You leave them with an impression. So now a key point here is spoken words, also knowing that your audience are there and they are a prepared set of audience, also that you have something that you must be communicating to them, and your target is when they do leave you, you have left an impression both in their minds and in their hearts. So let's get down to business. Now let's look at the mental preparation for preparing a speech. Now the first thing is, what do you want to say? The whole essence of public speaking is to say something. So your topic is very important, and that's the first thing we're going to be considering this morning. and those things you need to prepare for when it's all around your topic and what exactly you want to say. We all are aware that every time you open your mouth and you want to talk about anything at all, there are a constellation of things that has to go hand in hand. Now, the first thing you need to understand is that when you want to talk about a topic, it has to be a topic that you are knowledgeable about. Nobody wants to listen to you except there is something you're trying to press across. Everybody's busy. There's a rat race out there. So why would anybody bother waste their time to listen to you when they're not taking anything away? Trust me, you're not so looking fantastic that people are enthralled by just the look of you. They will get tired of it. They want something to take away. They want to learn something. So just like you're seated here listening to me, you're not listening to me because of just the fun of it. You want to learn something. You want to better yourself. You want to better yourself in the heart of public speaking. And so the first thing is your topic. And your topic is multidimensional. Sometimes your topic is giving you based on your area of expertise. Sometimes your topic is, giving you and you're expected to, delve into it and do some research. So we're going to look at how you handle your topic. The first thing is, if you have been given a free hand to pick a topic, you want to pick a topic that interests you. Whatever you have a liking for flows through you very, very freely. So if, for instance, you like talking about, I was listening to a YouTube video recently and the person was talking about sex. Okay. That interests him. That sparks him up. And it's sure that there are a lot of people out there who also want to learn something about sex. But then tell somebody who is very introverted to talk about sex. That person will not even be able to open his or her mouth. So you need to understand the first thing is, what do you have interest in? You have to play around your interest. You also want to play around your knowledge base, what you have knowledgeable about. So that even when you're done with your speech, when questions are thrown at you, you're very confident to respond to these questions. You're sure that you actually know your onions and there's something you're actually passing across. So it's very important that you're talking on something you're very, very knowledgeable about. So if you're going to be preparing for a speech, it has to be something you have interest in, something you have knowledge about, and thirdly, something you have vast experience about. You have to have a level of experience in order to be able to appeal to people's emotions and be able to appeal to both their minds and their hearts at the same time. Because a lot of constellation, when you're making your illustrations, your examples will bring the totality of you into your speech. Trust me, if you copy your speech and you just want to dump it on your audience, you're going to fail, because they are going to realize that there is no connection between you and what you're saying. So in order to be able to establish a connection between what you're saying and what is being presented and what you're saying and your personality, then it has to be something that you have knowledge about, something you're comfortable with, and of course something you have vast experience about. Now let me quickly draw you back to this. The focus in preparing for a speech is you. It's all about you. You in terms of how you're going to communicate and how well you're going to do it. You in terms of how you're going to evaluate yourself and how people will evaluate you and react to you. And then you in terms of how you display a mastery on the topic. Okay? All right, I guess we can go on to the next bit now. Fantastic. Now, you also need to put at the back of your mind that a successful public speaking engagement must be a constellation of informing, educating, and of course, entertaining. Nobody wants to learn without relaxing, just having a relaxed atmosphere, being relaxed in the process. It's a tough crowd out there. Everybody has something they need to attend to. Everybody needs something to sustain their attention. And one fantastic way of doing it is to make it a constellation of giving them information, educating them, and at the same time making it a breeze, just a little bit of entertainment here and there. We don't kill anybody, As a matter of fact, it's going to sustain their interest. They want to listen to you. And of course, in all of this, you have to also consider your audience, which is a very vital part of our definition. Your audience is such that you need to understand the relationship between you, your speech, and your audience. There has to be a romantic relationship between the three of you. Your speech must appeal to you. It must appeal to the audience. Now, if for instance, you feel, oh, this is a very hard knock topic and people really do not like listening to it, you must be able to, in the process of preparing, inject into your speech elements of entertainment that's going to make them relax, make them absorb what you're saying, make them have a flow of emotion from learning to relaxing, and then learning to being informed, being educated, and then being entertained in the process. It has to be a constellation of these things, and then that way your audience can actually respond to you. Now, when we go on to look at some sociological aspects of preparing for a speech, I'm going to talk a bit more about your audience. But right now, I just need you to understand that your speech has to be a constellation of these three. You have to inform, you have to educate, and you have to entertain. Now, you may want to ask me, all right, how do I know how much of information to give? How do I know when to, entertain them? Your audience is going to spell that out for you. And that is why I'm sure my colleague is going to, when he deals with presenting public speech tomorrow, is going to let you an insight into how your audience and the actual presentation can just throw you off balance if you're not careful, because your audience will decide what you actually do with the speech that you have prepared. Are we following? Can I go on? All right, fantastic. Now, your topic. How do you make your topic juicy? How do you make your topic informative? How do you make it educative? How do you make it totally entertaining? How do you make it such that you're appealing both to the minds and to the hearts of those you're talking to? How do you do that? It's as simple as A, B, and C. And it's amazing that all of us, have this in us. And you just sometimes feel we can't. Now, the first thing is you have to research. Now, somebody will ask me, all right, does that mean I have to delve into reading tons and tons of textbooks in order to prepare? No. Research is going to help you in a lot of ways. It's going to help you both to master your topic, which will help you, of course, to relax. It will also help you to be able to be on top of your game. You're on top of the topic, and so you're able to, your attention or your focus is not based on, is what I'm saying, does it even make sense? Trust me, if you're thinking that is what I'm saying making sense, there is absolutely no way you can say that it's going to make sense to anybody, because you doubt it yourself that it doesn't make sense. So there's absolutely no way you're going to convince anybody with what you're saying. So you want to be ready, and one way to be mentally prepared for a good speaking engagement is to be ready. Now, what are the things you need to watch out for when it comes to preparing or researching? The first thing is you research by observation. You learn from other people. Trust me, your speaking engagement is not the first time you're going to be exposed to public speaking. You probably have been an audience at either a successful or a failed public speaking engagement. Trust me, there are several fails out there, and there are tons and tons of successful public speaking engagement out there too. So at some point or the other, you have experienced either a success or a fail in public speaking. So you observe what went wrong and what was done right. You need to observe. Observation is going to help you a great deal about putting content in your public, in your speech. How was this said that threw everybody off balance? Okay, because you have observed, you can now bring this knowledge on the table to help yourself. Another thing is reflection. I need a fantastic way to explain this to you. I'm going to use an illustration with the act of reading generally. Now, the best way to master anything is after you've read it, you think about it. If you don't think about what you've read, you really do not master it. You probably, for students especially, you probably are just reading to pass the examination. But to make sure that it becomes a total part of you, you need to reflect, to think about it. You need to think about your topic. You need to think about your audience. You need to think about how your audience will assess the topic. You need to reflect on what you want to talk about. You need to reflect on what you've read. Do you understand? So you have to do that. The last one, of course, is reading. You need to read vast. You know, reading helps you sojourn other people's experiences. It gives you statistics to back up what you want to say. Statistics are very key when you want to public speak. Facts are very key when you want to public speak, because you want to be speaking from, you know, from facts and figures. From facts and figures. You want to be speaking from facts and figures. So definitely you should do a lot of reading in order to be able to substantiate what you're saying with a lot of facts and figures. Okay, of course, as we're going on, I'm going to now go on to the next bit where we look at the psychological preparation that is entailed when you are preparing for public speaking.